Hi, welcome back to Global Politics, and today we would be covering engagement activity. Right? So, we have already spoken what all assessments are there. There are the two external assessments and two internal assessments. So, when I talk about external assessments, so these two are um, paper 1 and paper 2. I have already covered videos on paper 1 and paper 2. Now today we are going to cover one of the IAs, that is called internal assessments. One is HLX, which is known as HL extension or oral presentation in global politics. The second one is engagement activity. So the second one, engagement activity, today what we are going to cover. So before that, let me ask you, how many of you love doing primary research, wearing the hat of a journalist, doing field work, interviewing people, writing report like a journalist, okay? All these things. So how many of you love that? if I can if I can guess that you are raising your hand, so this field is for you. Engagement activity gives you the chance to explore all these things, right? So what's this engagement activity? Let's go further. I won't be able to present this presentation Google slide. I won't be able to go for this slide thing because the moment I click on this one, I'm not able to use my pen tools. Anyhow, I would be sharing this presentation in the description below, right? You can access this one. So let's go further. So we'll start first with weightage. So what is the weightage of engagement activity? For SL students, it's 25%, and for HL students, it's 20%. Fair enough? Marks 20. So out of 20, you are awarded for your engagement activity, and weightage is 25% or 20%. Now let's get started what it talks about engagement activity. This is quite interesting. I mean, my students have been scoring good in this, in case if they are guided properly. Yeah, in case if they have understood it properly, they have spent enough time on this criterion wise, then definitely they score good in this. So what is this? As you can see, the name of this one is engagement activity report. Okay, mind this word report over here. This is not saying essay, right? So this is different from your essay then. Fair enough, because in essay you are not using your pronoun, you are using the formal statements, you are not revealing your identity at all in this one. But report gives you that leeway, right, where you are showing your personal interest, you are reporting something the way journalist is reporting the site seeing, or whatever, wherever, whichever report the journalist is capturing, that it is writing about this one, right? So this is called report. This is the number one thing, that it is known as report, not as an essay. Number two, as the name suggests, engagement. Okay, engagement means that it is highly recommended that you are engaged in your own report. When whatever you are writing, you are engaged in that activity, you are producing a kind of activity, active in this one. So as I am saying, this is the culmination of your primary plus secondary research. Fair enough? Primary and the secondary research. So that's why I'm calling it as engagement activity, where I am engaged in collecting all the primary sources, all the primary data, where I am busy in my internship. Usually I give this engagement activity to my students during their summer break, right? When they get their summer break, they get approximately 75 to 85 days for their summer break. So during this time, they get involved in the interviews, in the internship, in collecting the data, and this is where they are writing their engagement activity report. Now, how many words IB is expecting you to write? This is 2000 words report. Fair enough, 2000 words report you have to write for your engagement activity. Now, further in this report, you will see 4 sections, right? There are the 4 sections which are given in this engagement activity report, and they are divided further into the marks. So 4 section mean first one would be of 4 marks, second one would be of 4 marks, third one would be of 6 marks, and the fourth one would be of 6 marks. 4, 4, 6, 6, that means total 20 marks. What we are going to cover under each criterion, that I'll be discussing further. You have to discuss about the political issue over here, and political issue already, you know, in one of the videos I have already covered the political issue, which is talking about power, which is talking about decision making process, which is impacting people at the larger level, right? Political issue you have to identify, and you have to discuss about that political issue over here. You have to think about your political issue beforehand. You shouldn't say that, hey, I'm planning to work with this NGO and then later on I'll figure it out what could be my political issue. No, before that you have to tell me, or you have to tell your teacher what political issue you are planning to explore, and then you have to think about the activities, right? Definitely you can think of some of the activities, because it may happen that you are picking up one political issue, but you are clueless about the activity, so the political issue would be of useless, will be of futile to you, right? So activity, thinking about the activity and the political issue should go hand in hand. Another important thing what I suggest is the topic should be of local interest or community interest, right? Or at the national level, right? These are the 3 levels of analysis out of 6. These all are internal levels of analysis. I have already discussed these levels of analysis in one of my videos. So when you are picking up any topic, that time make a point that you are picking up the topic with which you are associated with. I'm sitting here right now in India and I'm thinking about Norwegian politics. It won't make sense to me in case if I don't have any relative, in case if I don't have any connection over there. So it would be a futile topic for me. Might be I can explore this topic under HLX, but not under engagement activity, because it requires engagement activity. That means I need to fully engage with my topic. There should be some personal connection to my topic. Fair enough. So what I'm talking about, take the political issue, take the topic which is of your interest, which is approachable, accessible to you. Pick up that topic over here. Fair enough. This much is clear to you what the engagement activity. Now we move further. This is what This is what is suggested by IB, that this engagement activity should be covering the 3 parts. Number 1 is the complementary research, what you are undertaking, engagement, and the written report. I have already spoken about this one and I would be talking further on the same line. So I'm skipping this slide for the time being. Assessment criteria for the written report. Let's take this up. So this is what it is written by IB. Criterion A. Criterion A, the name of the Criterion A is identification of issue and justification, right? So you have to identify your issue and you have to justify it by saying that why are you interested in this one. So there are the 3 things what you need to cover this one. Just have a look, okay, pause over here and read it what this one is asking you. Is the political issue explored through the engagement identified? Is there a clear explanation of why this particular engagement and political issue are of interest to the student? Hold on in case if you feel that this is a complicated language to you, because I have simplified in the later slide. Here you go. Identification and justification of the political issue. What you are supposed to write. So generally I ask my student that categorize this criterion into three parts. Okay, not necessarily you have to write in three paragraphs, because then there are too many paragraphs for 2000 words report. Either you can write it in two paragraphs or you can write it in one big paragraph. Choice is yours. This is something connected to introduction. Okay, you may call it introduction also, or you may call it identification and justification of the political issue. This is of 4 marks. Minded, this can be 4 on 4 also. Okay, high chances that you may score 4 on 4 in case if you are doing justification to all these pointers. What are those pointers? Number one paragraph would be including that you have written down the issue clearly and explicitly identified. So what is the political issue that you have explained or identified clearly in one paragraph, right? What could be the words? I'll be coming to you on this particular point. Why this issue and activity is important or of your interest. Kindly mention this one, that why are you interested to explore this topic further, right? Or why are you exploring this topic? And the third one is, what is the connection of this topic to the course content? Okay, you can say, in case if you are picking up the topic of suppose old age people in Norway, you feel that you are from Norway and you want to work on the old age home, then you may think about human rights as your unit, equality or justice, something like that. These could be your key concept. So when you are discussing about these key concepts, you don't have to define these key concepts, right? You don't have to tell what is the human right. You have to connect human right to your topic, and then you have to tell that this is how this topic is connected to my political issue. Clear? So there are the three things. Number one is, what is your political issue? Why are you interested in this? And what is the link to the course? Okay, these are three. You can make it in one paragraph or two paragraphs. Do not make three paragraphs, right? You can club these two paragraphs and you can write this one. How many words? Approximately 300 words, right? Approximately 300 words. Now it's your choice. How do you distribute these 300 words? It could be 120 words. The rest could be, it could be two 200 words, the rest could be 100 words, or your choice, completely your choice, 150, 150. But make sure that you are not writing too much, because this is of just 4 marks. Fair enough? This is what the section A demands from you. We move further. Okay, how can you write this first paragraph, which is known as introduction? So you can write it down. The political issue that I have decided to explore through this engagement activity is, now what this is all about. You can start like this. I found it worthy of investigation because, or the issue chosen is clearly relevant to the study of global politics as it links with, now what are those concepts? Research question tightly linked to the political issue, but it is just recommended, not compulsory, because whatever research question or political issue you are mentioning, so definitely I'm looking forward for the same political issue what you have given as the title, even in your introduction also, that what is the explanation, okay, how you are identified that political issue. I'm looking for that as well. So these are just the few suggestions. You can use any of these things or you can use from your own also. I hope section A is clear to you. This is of 4 marks. Now I move further. We move to section B, which is criterion B. Criterion B says explanation of the engagement. That means whatever engagement you have undertaken, you need to explain that thing. This is again of 4 marks. High chances you may score 4 on 4 even for this one. Usually if it is written very well, examiners don't deduct marks. They may give you full on also over here. In case if this becomes difficult to understand this one. All right, so what it is talking about, clear description of the engagement activity in some details. Clear description of the engagement activity means that what are the engagement activity that you have undertaken, what is your role in that engagement activity, whether you were active, passive, or what. So in case if you say that I attended a webinar and can I consider this one as my engagement activity? So sure, you can write it down, but it cannot be considered as your active engagement activity because you just listen to the webinar. In case if you're presenting your paper, or in case if you interviewed some of the keynote speakers later on, this may be considered as your then part of active engagement activity, but just listening to the webinar won't be considered as your engagement activity. A lot of students ask about MUN, right? Can the MUN be considered as engagement activity? No, MUN also can't be considered as engagement activity. Another important part, that try not to take your interview from the same organization. What do I mean? In case if you are planning to work with NGO, okay, so suppose you thought that Amnesty International, it's accessible to you and you want to work on human right on particular political issue for this one. You met a number of the people over there, you circulated Google Forms, okay, you circulated Google Forms over there, and you interviewed MD, you interviewed CEO, you interviewed a couple of the people, okay, keynote people over there. Would it be considered as an active engagement activity? No, it won't be considered because they all are just one. They are giving one perspective to you, right? They all are giving one perspective to you. So try not to take all the interviews from just one organization. Try to take another interview from governmental body who may oppose this NGO, or any other NGO who may have different views, right? So another NGO you may take a group of journalists over here, you may take a group of lawyers, okay, or you may take a group of government officials. So what I'm doing, that I'm clubbing a different background people, different perspectives for this one. Clear enough? What is your engagement activity? Okay, now once you will open my this glopo.info site, here you will find even the link of this presentation what I'm taking, though I would be pasting the link even in the description box. And here you can see the number of the engagement activities what you can undertake: stakeholder, government official, NGO member, university professor. Okay, you can take interview of any of these things. In case if you want to include any other, you can do that as well. Fair enough. What are the engagement activities? So far, so clear. So what you are including in this criterion B, you are including 3 pointers. Number one, detailed description of your engagement activity. What is your role? And the third one is that how it is enhancing your understanding. What did you learn from this activity? Fair enough. Now we move further. This one is clear. Yeah, one more point. How many words? So let me cover this one with the next slide. Okay, so how many words? Again, do not give more than 300 words because this is of 4 marks. Remember the criterion C and D, which is of 6 marks. So this will ask you to cover more number of the words. So approximately 300 words. Even if you go 350, it's completely okay. But 300, it's decent enough. The reason is that you would be using your activities even in your analysis and synthesis or evaluation also. So if you are just introducing your engagement activity in 300 words, this is completely all right. How can you start this engagement activity? My engagement activity involved the number of the people. You can write about date, time, place, prior presentation, if prior preparation, if you had any in this engagement activity. What was your role? You are describing about that, and mention some wow moments if you had any. Fair enough. And okay, so in my speaker's notes, I have written down some of the COVID-19 situations thing, which the current grade 12 or year 2 would be using. I'm hoping you are already notified by your teacher what you are supposed to do. So you can conduct online interviews. You can use any of your grade 10 or grade 11 CAS activities for this one. And it's okay in case if you have not met people face to face, if you have not done any field work, internship or something like that, it's completely fine. So these are the COVID-19 situation guidelines. Let me check in case if I have written down anything else apart this one. Yeah, okay, I have covered. Let's move further now to criterion C. All right, so what Criterion C says? Criterion C is talking about the analysis of the issue. Now, in this analysis of the issue, you would be covering why and how of the topic, right? Why and how of the topic. In the simpler words here I have explained, it's not a description of the issue but a critical analysis. Why and how. Here you would be including different perspectives, what you gathered through your interviews. You would be using your own knowledge, your own knowledge, okay. You would be using key concepts over here. You would be using, in case if you have any theories, okay, not compulsory, in case if you have any theories, you would be using that as well. So this is the culmination of all these things, the different perspectives, your own knowledge, key concepts, theories, what you have. So this is what I have written down: causes, impact, general to local. So definitely you are talking about the levels of analysis. Generally engagement activity is of national level, community level, or the local level. Either in this criterion or in the next criterion, you would be talking about the global link of your topic, right, of your national, local, or community topic to the international or the regional, the impact of that one. Fair enough. This one is also clear. Now, how many words? So this is of 6 marks. Now, what happens over here? I would be covering section D, which is Criterion D, and it says synthesis and evaluation, right? Synthesis and evaluation. Most of the time what happens, students actually mix analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and they write it combined. So at times you are just on the basis of 12 marks, or it is at times bifurcated 6 marks. So it's up to you how you are going to segregate your words, right? It can be, now how many words are left with you? We have already covered around 300, 600 words. So that means now we are left with 1400 words. So either you can spend 1000 words or 400 words. It could be 700 plus 700 words, okay. It could be 800 or the remaining words. Fair enough. It's completely your choice how you are going to write. Either you can choose altogether writing 1400 words, clubbing C and D together. It could, you can bifurcate it in case if you feel that you are very clear how you are going to evaluate this one, you can do it. So this is your choice how you are going to do this one. Now remember, do not give any heading, right? Do not give any heading when you are writing your report. Do not say this is the identification of the issue, explanation of the engagement, analysis of the issue, or the evaluation. No, it is flowing. It has a natural flow. If you see, then it's very natural whenever you are reading any editorial page of the newspaper or you are reading any article, it starts with the explanation of the political issue. It creates a hook, right, in the examiner, that oh, it sounds interesting, let me read it further. Then you read about the interest of the candidate, interest of the journalist, that why the journalist was interested to write about that report. Then you see the connection to the course. Then you see that what all did uh, the student do to collect the data, and then what is the analysis, what is the evaluation or the impact at the wider level, right? This is very natural. Am I making sense? That this sounds very natural, so you do not require to give any kind of heading. When you're writing your draft, definitely you can give the heading. Once your teacher has corrected your draft, then remove those headings, right? It should have a natural flow over there. Clear? I hope this one is clear to you. Now let's move further, and this is criterion D. right? Criterion D, as I said, synthesis and evaluation. This is of 6 marks. This is how the examiner would see this one. And the conclusion and synthesis. Now, a clear synthesis of your experience and the theoretical perspective. Conclusion are clear, balanced, consistent with evidence provided in earlier sections, right? So this is what you are supposed to write. If you will see, then in every slide I have written down in the speaker's note how an examiner may comment in case if you are going to score full on marks, right? So this is how the examiner can write the comment. I suggest to my students that always write whatever band width, whatever mark band you are aiming for. So write it down by your own hand notes and paste it on your wall, right? So that you are aiming for the same kind of comments on your question paper, and you are clearer enough that what the examiner is expecting from you. Fair enough? Let's move further. Format of the report. I hope that the four criteria are clear to you. What it is demanding from you, it is 4, 4, 6, 6. You can score 8 on 8 in the first two criteria. You can definitely score 10 on 12, okay, 11 on 12, or I don't know 12 on 12 because I haven't given 12 on 12. Last summer I was correcting some of the engagement activity from IB because the examiner who moderates my engagement activity, so I was sitting with her and we both were correcting some of the engagement activities. So I figured out it's very easy to correct for the examiner also, because they actually give you the marks as per the criterion, that this is okay, this is okay, but it's not that in one go they give you the marks criterion wise. Overall they have a look of your report and then they decide that okay, this criterion sounds good, this criterion is also aligned very well, in this analysis is weaker but the A and B fits very well. So this is how an examiner look at your engagement activity report. This is my opinion, might be there are some examiners which are looking from different angle. Now let's see what could be the format of the report. This is nowhere given by IB, but this is what I ask my students. So first page should be dedicated about writing your research question or the political issue. Your subject should be mentioned over here, higher level or the standard level. Then words count, try not to exceed beyond 2000 words, though there is no penalizing even if you do that, but your teacher would ask you to limit yourself in 2000 word. What could be the minimum words? So no minimum words given over there, but I suggest my student keep it between 900 to 2000 words, because you are doing analysis, evaluation, everything, so you can't keep it 1800 words. That means you have not done a good justification to your analysis and the evaluation part, right? And when you are writing about your words count, remember your bibliography, in-text citation, footnotes in case if you are using, and your appendix, they won't be counted in that. It's just about your those four criteria what you are writing. On the second page onwards, you start writing your report. Do not give any heading to it. In the conclusion, under the bibliography, you are citing in the MLA 8 format. Appendix, you can use appendix after your bibliography. What is this appendix? Appendix, you are providing all the evidences to your teacher. I ask my student to provide in case if they have any certificate or they clicked any pic, so they can hide their face and they can submit that to me. They can ask for the written consent form from the interviewee. All right, so all the evidences you are pasting in the appendix. Then the sum of the rules, if you are working on the Google Doc, Arial font size 11, align by justifying it, line spacing 1.15. So these are some of the rules which I'm telling to my students. Your teacher may ask you to do what fits in their school system. Okay, these are few of the examples. So this is what you may ask: can I work somewhere 3 weeks stay and work at volunteerism school in country C? Definitely you can do that. This. So in case if you are proposing such kind of activity, then what could be your political issue? This is how you can frame your political issue. This is from IB Guidebook. This is another example, few exemplars. This you can have a look. This is for my school. Your school may have different approach. Now this is where you will find on the site. So these are few of the sample which I have pasted over here, and a few good site, okay, which I also referred when I was making this one. So you may use this one. Fair enough. So I hope engagement activity is clear to you. This is quite interesting. You get a lot of time to do your research and to write it down. Once you are done with your research, it's just matter of 2-3 days to write it down. It might sound funny, right? So yeah, I don't know. I did it. I did it. So when I was writing my engagement activity report, not that I was IB student, but before becoming global politics teacher, I attempted all of my assessment. And when I was writing it down, so first I did all my research, and when I started writing, it was a cakewalk for me because I had all the research, and then I could, think about you guys, that how can you assemble your data, how you can write about it, this one. So I hope you find this video interesting, helpful, and you would be able to write your report very well. In case if you have any doubt, comment, then please write it down below. Have a wonderful day to all of you.